So hey everyone, welcome again to YouTube channel, and today we are going to solve a new question from our top interview 150 question series, and today's question title is summary ranges. So let's understand the question. So here we have been given a sorted unique integer array nums, and we have been said that a range A to B is a set of all integers from A to B inclusive. That means A and B are included in this range. It is saying to return the smallest sorted list of ranges that covers all the numbers in the array exactly. That is, each element of nums is covered by exactly one of the ranges, and there is no integer x such that x is in one of the range but not in nums. So what it is saying that you have to find the smallest ranges in which all the numbers are included. Here in example you can see that if you take 0, 1, 2, then you can see that it is a continuous number and its range belongs to 0 to 2. And again you can see we do not have 3, so there is a gap, and again we start for 4, 5. We have created a range for 4, 5, and 7 is alone because we are missing 6 here. So it is saying that if you are creating any range, then all the elements in the range should be present in our input array nums. So it is a saying, but it is almost similar to what we have just read, that we have to find the ranges in which all the numbers are in sorted and in subsequent manner. That means 1 plus 1, adding 1 by 1. In 0 you add 1, you get 1, then 2, then 3. That's now it is also saying that each range A to B in a list should be output as A arrow B if A is not equals to B, and A if A equals to B. So this is a simple explanation by which you can understand what the question is asking you to say. Now let's understand the question with example and understand how we can solve this. So here I have taken the example from our question, and in this example you can see that we have numbers from in sorted order. And what will happen if we have the number in a sequence? So you can have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is the range in which every elements are present. No other elements are missing or anyone is gone. So the range for this is going to be 0 to 7. But you can see in this question that we have some missing terms, and those are 3 and 6, and due to which we need to create a range in 3 sections. Due to the missing of two numbers, we get 3 sets, and if there are n numbers which are missing, then you get n plus 1 number of ranges, or you can say. So here what will happen that you create a range for 0, 1, 2, again for 4, 5, and a one single for 7. So what will be the output from 0 to 2, where 0 and 2 are included? Again you get for 4 to 5, and now you get 7. So what we have to do is that we have to find these ranges and we have to return it. This is what we have to do. So how we can solve this question? So what we can do is that you can see that a simple approach would be that you can check if the next number is got by adding 1 to the previous one or not. That means if you add 1 to the first element, are you getting the second element or not? So this is the approach by which we can get the range. So until then, when you are able to find a number which is in the sequence by adding 1, then you are getting a range, and you can store it in a range like 0 to 2. Now after 2, if you add 1, you are getting 3, but here we have 4. So what we can do, we can break it and we can start another loop. Starting from 4, you can go to 5 by adding 1. Now after that you again add 1, then you are not able to find 6. So here again our loop is going to break, and here what you got a range 4 to 5. Now with the last element which is left is 7, so you can simply return 7. So this is the approach which you are going to follow. So we can do this by applying different algorithms and what you can think of. So first try by yourself, but the important point is that you should be use minimum number of conditions and loops, so that it will be very clear and very clean code. So let's now code this and understand how we can solve this. So let's start by taking a vector of a string. Let's name it as answer, and let's start our for loop, which is going to iterate in our nums vector. Int I equals to 0, I less than nums dot size 5 plus plus. Now next what we need to do is that here you can see that the vector which we are returning, we have stored the strings. The range is also stored in a string and the single value is also stored in a string. So what we can do, we can declare a string. So we are going to do the same. So we are going to declare a string. Let's take it as, which is going to be empty string at a start. Now, whenever you are starting with an index, its first index is going to always be stored. Here, you have started from zeroth index, that means the first, and zero is stored in this string. When you have started for the four, then again four is stored, and when you started for seven, seven is stored. So we can simply store this. So what we are doing is that we are storing it. So we can write s plus equals to a string. So we are converting it to a string, and which value nums. So we have firstly stored the first value of our range in our string. Now we have already handled our first. The what we can do, we can increase our I, and we can also store this index. So what we can do, we can take int j is equals to I. Again, let's start a while loop. And in while loop, what we are going to do is that we are going to check that if the next element is, you can say the previous element or the next element are in the sequence or not. So what the condition is going to be, we are going to write nums I minus 1 is equals to nums I minus 1. So if the subtraction from the next index is equals to the previous one, that means it is in sequence. So what we can do, we can increase our I. That means we can check for the next one. Also, what we need to consider is that here we are increasing our I. So we can again check this condition. That means our I should be less than our num size, because if it is out of the range, it is going to give us error. So we are going to check it here also. Now what we need to do is that we need to check that if our j is not equals to I. So if our j is not equals to I, what it is mean is that we have gone through our while loop, and after going through our while loop, what we have got is that we have to insert a arrow and the element which is present at the previous index. So here you can see that when you start our iteration, what will happen is that you will start with 0. Now again, what we have done, we have increased our I, so our index I is now at the first position. Now it is going to check it, and it is going to move on to the next index, which is 2. Now again it is going to check, it is saying that it is okay. Now again it is at 4. Now it is checking, then it is saying that it is not okay, because here it should be 3, but here it is 4. So our I is at 4. So to insert the last index, that means the range last position, what we need to do, we need to insert the ith minus 1 index. So what we need to do is that we have to write s plus equals to, first let's insert our arrow. So we can insert it like this. Now next what we can do is that we can write s plus equals to a string, and which value, it is going to be nums I minus 1. Now after this, you can see that our I is at 4. So this is the position where, until where we have checked. So what we have to do is that when you are at the, when you are going to the next index, we have to decrease our I in order to find the same position again. Because if you move on to the if you do not decrease your I, what will happen in this for loop, we are always increasing our I. So it is going to move your I to fifth position. That means this 5. So we have to maintain our I it at the same position. So what we will do, we will simply do I minus minus. Now again what we need to, we have stored our value in our string. If we have seen that if our j is not equals to I, we have inserted arrow in the last position, and if they are equal, that means it is the same position. So we have already our nums in our string. So we can simply write ns dot pushback, which value we have to insert, we have to insert our string s. Now what we can do, we can simply return our answer. So we will write return answer. Now let's try to run this code. Okay, so it is not to a string, it is to underscore a string. Here also we have to update it. It is to underscore string, so we will write to underscore string. Now let's again try to run this code. So this is accepted. Now let's submit this code. So the question is accepted. Now in the same video you are going to see the Python and Java solution also. So keep looking, and now let's meet in the next video. Until then, stay tuned and keep learning. Thank you all.